What is up, guys? What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another banger of a 0 to 60 garage video. We're going to be doing a zero start or frost heater or whatever you want to call it mod on the TDI. This is if you have a northern car and it gets below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, this thing will help, especially if you are at that 300 and something thousand mile mark. It helps with the cold starts. Obviously, I'm not going to plug this until it gets negatives, but good cold start's always good for the heart. But I could have used this because, yeah, I ended up getting stranded one day in my own house because I couldn't start any vehicle I own. So this thing would have been crucial, and I actually had it in my possession. I just didn't know it because it came with the car. So there was one spot in the video where you have to, normally you would have to cut the two coolant lines apart because they're kind of bridged. This car has already had that done because this exact thing was already on this car. So that's already done. I'll explain that when I get there, but just because you don't see me do it, you're going to have to do it on your car if you've never had one on here. But just for anyone that's curious, here is the part number. This is 3315039. I'm not sure if they even make these anymore, but if you find one used and you want to put it on your car, that'll be the part number that works for, I believe it's 01 to 03 Golf, Jetta, Beetle, whatever. TDI, obviously. So, yeah, this thing, I had to make a new cord for it. I had to custom make one because the engineers at Zero Start said it couldn't be done. So I made it, and it works. I tested it, so fuck engineers. They don't know what they're talking about. It's coming from a welder. So, yeah, let's get right into this install, and hopefully we don't have coolant leaks and this thing works. It should work because I tested it, but if anyone needs help, if you find one that doesn't have a cord on it and you need help, make sure to message me or comment, and I'll get in touch with you on how to wire up a new cord. It's fairly simple, but if you don't really know what you're doing, then it's going to look really complicated. So, yeah, if you have any issues where you need to make a new cord and the engineers tell you it can't be done and you need to buy a new one, just hit me up and I'll walk you through it, and you'll be good to go. So yeah, let's get right into putting this thing on here. You ready?
Are you ready? I already got it.
Oh, you're actually ready? All right, first thing you're gonna do, take the battery out, disconnect the battery, take it out. Honestly, I'm not showing that because if you don't know how to do that by yourself, you probably should not be doing something like this because you can very easily mess your entire motor up doing something like this. So first you'll take the battery out. I just took it out just so it made it easier for the video's sake. So you're gonna take these 4 bolts in here in the battery tray. That's gonna be the first thing you're gonna do after taking the battery out. You're gonna take, there's 4 bolts in here. You'll take those all out and you'll take the whole tray out. You'll have to kind of pry this piece off here to get through this. But you'll take that out because your frost heater is going to mount underneath here. So, yeah, I'll come back when I got this all taken out, and then I'll show you what to do next. All right, so actually you're going to have these 4 bolts here. There's also 3 more bolts. These 2 bolts hold this. Well, it's on the ground now. It's this plastic piece. This is what channels all of your wires through. Those 2 bolts will hold this piece here down to it. So you have to take those 2 out. You just squeeze a 10 mil back there with extensions. And then this bolt here as well connects the air box to this. I forgot about those 3. So once you remove those 3, you can pull this out. This little piece will unclip off of this. You can take these cables out, pull this out, and then obviously get the air box bolt out, and then you can pull this up. It's kind of a tight fit, but you'll come around when you do it. It'll come out eventually. So the next step is going to be, if you want to come over here. So you're going to be completely removing this coolant hose right here. This is where your 2 hoses, this hose right here and this hose here, are going to be bridged somewhere around here in there. So you'll have to cut in between those. Do not nick this hose, because this hose is the one you don't need, so you can go into that one if you want. Unless you ever decide to take it off, then obviously you'll have to buy a new one for this. But don't nick this one, because then you'll have to replace this hose when you really don't need to. So next step's going to be removing this hose. It goes. I would recommend disconnecting it from the bottom of the oil cooler, because that's the bottom part, so all the coolant will drain. So it goes to the bottom spot on the oil cooler, and then it goes up to a coolant spot on the head. And then after that all drains out, you'll remove that, and you'll just pull that whole hose out. And though that hose will just be discarded, you won't need it anymore. And then your hoses on your frost heater. This one's going to go to your head, and this one will go to the oil cooler. Obviously, I'll show you once I get it in place, and I'll show you how to put it in place as well. So, yeah, I'm going to get to draining this coolant, and make sure to, at this time, crack your radiator, or not your radiator, coolant bottle. Make sure to crack that so your coolant drains out, doesn't, get any air in the system. And obviously make sure that you have yourself some extra coolant, so that way you can top it off when you're all done, because you're going to lose coolant. So yeah, I'll get to taking that hose off, and then I'll pick you guys up. I'm going to get a creeper. Aw, man. Here. I need a light. Hey. By the way, guys, it splashes everywhere. Don't lay underneath it. It splashes in your mouth. I got some in my mouth. It tastes freaking disgusting. If you've ever tasted coolant, you know. Yeah, it gets everywhere. I've never seen a video where you lose that much coolant, but I expected to lose a good bit, but not that much. So yeah, it gets absolutely everywhere, just so you know. So be careful. Wear eye protection if you want. Yeah, it's going to be fun to clean up. All right, now that you have successfully removed your coolant hose here, and possibly drenched yourself and everything under the car, now it's time to remove, or not remove, but put the frost heater in the engine bay. So this is the spot that I'm talking about right here. This one was already cut. This will be where it's bridged to the other coolant pipe that is under there. So obviously you'll cut that and cut it in the middle. This one doesn't look like it was cut in the middle very well, but the other one's not leaking coolant, so I'm not concerned about it. But yeah, so now you can put the frost heater in place. I'm going to get it in place and show you how it's supposed to look once you get it in the car. All right, so this is the frost heater in place. You're going to run it so that way this goes underneath your ground. You don't want it to go over, otherwise it's not really going to work. So run it underneath the ground. This is that top hose. It'll go underneath the ground over to here, to the top of the cylinder head. That hose will mount up here. And then your other bottom hose that comes off right down there off the frost heater is going to run straight over to the bottom side of your oil cooler. You can't really see it from here, but you'll know because that's the hose that you pulled off on the bottom. So since that's done, now all you have to do is set the battery tray in place, and this is going to mount to the battery tray. So I'm going to get that battery tray thrown in here and get it mounted up and show you guys how it looks. All right, so this is the frost heater in place. So you're going to have to drill a hole in your battery box about right here to mount this to it. Obviously, this wasn't the factory option, so mine already had it drilled, obviously, because this was already on the car before. So you'll just have to drill a hole right there and then route all of your lines. Make sure everything is clear of potential obstructions or potential rub-throughs. You don't want to be driving down the road and then you had your hose kink or pinch or rub through on something, and then you got a coolant leak and you're stranded. So definitely make sure to route those accordingly. Other than that, pretty simple install. Now you just have to route your plug wherever you want it to go. I'll route mine probably somewhere around this bottom grill area, somewhere in here. And then it's pretty much repeat what you did in the beginning, except backwards. Throw everything back together in the battery box, and then you're good to go. You should be able to start it up and check for leaks. And if you don't have leaks, top it off, and you're done. You now have a block heater. Super straightforward. It's a little bit dirty of a job, especially if you don't like cooling in your mouth. But I think it'll be well worth it, being able to start the car and have instant heat and everything like that when it's super cold out. That'll be very nice because this heat already isn't very good in this car. So yeah, I guess we're gonna get this thing thrown back together, and I'll catch up with you guys when we go for the start and make sure there's no leaks, and then we'll be good to go. So I'll catch you guys when it's all thrown together. All right, so that concludes the frost heater zero start, whatever you want to call it, install on the TDI. A couple things I did off camera. I routed my cord, obviously routed accordingly. But I just, ran. I had a thing that was already cut in this insert here, obviously because this was on there before, so somebody already cut something so I could slip this through. So I ran that there and then just tied up the rest of the cord up behind the bumper, secure. It's not going anywhere. I made sure to put a few ties on it. And then, yeah, make sure, obviously, when you do this first start, check for any leaks. If anything is leaking, obviously, make sure to fix it. Don't just drive it, because you'll run out, and then you'll probably overheat and warp heads and whatever else. Make sure to top your coolant off. Obviously, I topped mine off once, but it was just sitting here idling for like 2 minutes, so more than likely I'm going to have to top it off again. But I'll make sure to do that. I'll make sure to let it run for like 10 minutes and then top it off before I leave. So make sure you top that off. Obviously, the car will yell at you if the coolant's too low. It's done that to me, so it'll yell at you. But just make sure to top it off. Keep an eye on the levels. Keep an eye. Make sure it doesn't leak in the next week or so. That way, because anytime you do something like this, you got a chance of leaks over a period of a couple weeks. So just make sure to keep an eye on it. But yeah, that'll include this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully it was a detailed enough video for you. I tried to explain as much as I could, but there's some stuff that you just kind of have to do it rather than explaining it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I'm sure I'll have more for this soon. And hopefully I can get working on my truck here soon, which will be the actual cool videos instead of this. Because this is just the daily. The truck's a lot cooler than this, a lot louder and everything else. So, but yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Make sure to tune in for more videos from 0 to 60 Garage. This is Brandon, and peace out.
I just had sex in the truck, almost put it in drive with a butt. I'm shitting and pull like I'm nuts, real goofy, yuck. Shout out my little cuz he said shout me out in the song, so cuz what's up? Let me give you advice, rule number 1, don't hang with schmucks. Number 2, don't give out your trust. Number 3, clean up your lunch.